Welcome to another episode in Instruments for a Change. My name is Audale Martin, and we'll get straight into it. From our last sessions, we looked at major sevenths, triads, a lot of stuff. The last couple contents was a lot of information, and if we were practicing, or if we are practicing, they should start coming together as one big bundle of knowledge and tools to get our music really happening. Playing some music or giving us ideas for those who play some music already and have some knowledge as to what this whole piano thing is about. For today's class, I'll be using parts of songs we're going to break down some songs, right? We're going to break down some songs and see what they are about and how we approach them when we're playing them, for a singer, just to learn songs or just to understand what a song is about. So we're breaking down some songs, and hopefully we will learn something, a new perspective, not anything new, but hopefully more than that, we'll be using back some of the information or all of the information from the other class, which we are supposed to be doing in breaking down some of these songs. All right. So let's just quickly do a quick warm-up. Let me just play what I was just playing just now. Let me just play back that exercise, which is just major 7 chords. Okay, C major 7, C major 7, going to a F major 7. So C major 7, C, E, G, B, going to F, A, C, E, B flat, major 7, going in fourths. And that simply means we're going to the fourth of each key. So the fourth of C is F. What's the fourth of F? Go up in that major scale, we'll go up to B flat. And then from B flat, the fourth of B flat is E flat. And the fourth of E flat is A flat and D flat and so forth. So we're moving around major 7 chords in what we call a circle of fourths, right? C to F to B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat to G flat. Let's say F sharp instead of G flat. F sharp to B, to E, to A, to D, to G, and to C. Right? C major. So we're just... These are inversions. So inversions of the same chords, right? That's what I was doing just now. So C, F, B flat, E flat. Let me slow it down so you see that C major 7 to F major 7. But here's inversion. F, A, C, E is the F major 7. Here's C major 7, but here is the F here, the A here, the E and the C. Right? Instead of this way of playing the chord, it's now this way of playing the chord. C, E, F, A, which is the same as F, A, C, E, but C, E, F, A. And we move to our root position B flat. B flat, B flat, D, F, A, and then we go to our E flat chord, but in this inversion, which is E flat chord is E flat, G, B, D, but now we're moving to this inversion, which is B flat, D, E flat, G, and so move. You can see that's the pattern of the same inversion, root, then to like a second inversion chord, root, second inversion, same thing over, and you can hear it. So if you understand the first part, C going to F, B flat. This is not so much a finger exercise, but more like a brain workout. We have enough finger exercise, so this is just a brain workout. Alright? Alright, so that we're just pausing on F sharp major 7 right there. And after F sharp, we're now at B, and then E to A, D to G to C to F, and it just continues just like that, right? So C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, back to C. And the bass notes look like C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, C. And I'm able to just sing it because it's a circle. C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, C. It's a circle. All right, so we're going to get right into the songs. And we're breaking down these songs not just to see what the chords are, but to use, elements of music, like dynamics and tone and melody and rhythm, just to understand listening to a song and playing it back as best as we can. So let's listen to Now Behold the Lamb. All right, just pause it right there for me now. So what we need to know with most of the songs that we'll ever come across, it's all derived from the major scale. Most of the songs, 90% of the songs that we like, major scale, right? In this case, that's 2. So here's 1. So B flat is the key of this song. Let's just talk about that B flat scale real quick. It has 2 flats, which is B flat and E flat. E flat is a 4, so B flat is 1, C is 2, D is 3, E flat is 4, F is 5, G is 6, A flat is 7, B flat is 1, right? And the melody goes, right? And that's within that same scale. And so the chords as well will be finding the same. So like, just make that very clear. The chords, the progression, the melody, it's based off this scale. It may have some parts that, use notes that are outside the scale, but for the most part, the song is inside the scale, right? And the melody, which is a combination of rhythm and pitch. What is pitch? Pitch is just how high or how low a note is, right? So high, not in terms, people probably mix up high for loud and low for soft. That's volume, dynamics, right? But high is, here's B flat, here's a note higher than B flat, that note is higher, here's F, here's B flat, here's E flat lower, right? And so it's literally how high or how low, that's pitch, right? So I'm going up the keyboard and so the notes get higher. I'm going down the keyboard and the notes get lower, right? So that's high and low. And rhythm is just sounds in sound and silence in how we use notes. A pattern of sound and silence. We can call rhythm a pattern of sound and silence. So if I go, if I do that, there's sound and then silence, sound and then silence, sound and silence, or however they literally sound and silence. Sound and silence, right? Just a pattern of sound and silence. And melody is a combination of rhythm, which is sound and silence, and pitch, which is high and low. And so we create melodies like that. So let me see. So the rhythm is had a little lamb, little lamb, little. That's the rhythm. Ta 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 ta. And the melody is da da da. Well, I'm singing the rhythm along with it, but it's the notes moving up and down. That's the pitch, and then the rhythm is the percussive, ta ta ta, and putting them together is what gives you a melody, right? So a combination of rhythm and pitch. So the first part of that song. Can you just give me a view? All right, so that's not the actual. So what I like to do, if the keyboard have the sound, I try to find a sound that's pretty close. It's like an older type piano sound, like a vintage sound. So it's that's it. That's pretty close. Let's see what else. Let's see this one here. Right. Oops. Can you play it one more time? Oh, so the tempo was a little faster.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I can pause it right now. So there's a trill in there. That we call it a trill. It's just moving from A to B flat really fast. And that's coming right from classical music. Right out of classical music. And so we realize that gospel music really do have a sound for itself, but it borrows from different genres, and we create something quite new in gospel music. But so let's look at it. So let's talk about what is happening right there. So the first chord is a B flat chord. But this chord, so what are the notes in a B flat chord? B flat, D, and F. Those are the notes in a B flat chord. B flat, D, F. But it starts in an inversion, first inversion, where we have the third as the lowest note. So it starts like this instead. Alright? Alright, so instead of in the B flat as the lowest note, at least in the, B flat is the lowest note. But there's a next note we can add in here to make it more like what is there on the song. And it's to add the second note in the scale along with the chord. So we have, let me just bring this up here. We have B flat in its first inversion. We're going to add a C to this chord. And we call this chord B flat sus 2. Or add 2 rather. Literally, the name of the chord tells you what you're doing. You're adding the second note to the chord. So it has a different sound than just, this is in root position, by the way. I took it from first inversion back to root, so you see what it really is. So it's, should I put the song in C? No, let it stay in B flat. I'll play it in C for those who may see things better in C. Here's we'll add the second note. What that would look like on a C chord, it's so C and then you add the second note. Right? So in the left hand, back to B flat, in the left hand we put it in first inversion and add the 2 here. So we have, right? That's clear, yeah? And then there's a next sus chord. So let's talk about sus chords for a little bit. Normally we say sus 2, and it just simply means that we may not play the third note in the chord, which in this case is B flat, D, F, but we'll play what's the second note in the scale, in the major scale, B flat, C, F, right? So just to give me a view, please, of, all right, thank you. So here's the B flat major chord, B flat, D, F, but we're going to not play the D and play C, right? And you give you what we call a sus chord, a sus 2 chord. It's a B flat sus, right? Sus 2. And it sounds literally suspended. Let us, yeah, it literally sounds like it wants to resolve. And you can suspend the note from the fourth up. You can suspend the note from this sound kind of. So you can suspend the note from the fourth to the third, or the 2. There's an actual song that use that kind of movement, and it's Imagine Me. It's a sus4 chord. Yeah, sus4, B flat, sus4, and then resolve to the third, and then you go. Right, and that's pretty much the same thing. But how we're using it in this case is we're adding the second and the third, and we invert that chord, and now we have. And the next chord is a sus. You can hear that it's not a full major chord. Here's a full da da da, but you have da da da. Sound suspended. Right? So let's just look at suspended chords a little bit and just move them around. And what I like to do in a quick way, I mean, it's not what we can always do, but for now, we'll just take this sus chord, see what it looks like, whether it's a sus2 or a sus4. So you see sus2, and we'll just move it around in fourths, which is to take this first, the second, and the third. Can I get a view of that, please? The first, the second, and the third. And then we move it to the fourth, to F. The first, the second, and the third of F. To B flat, the first, the second, and third of F. Let's move it around. I'm breaking up the chord. I'm not playing it as a solid chord now. Right? It's a nice sounding chord. So C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Or you can move it in a chromatic way, meaning to play every single, right? So C to C sharp, to D, to E flat. So it's a sus2 chord, C sus2, D flat sus2, D sus2, E flat sus2, E sus2, F sus2, F sharp, G. Alright? And the chord that starts this song, Now Behold the Lamb. So it's a, right? So the left hand is doing, the progression is 3, meaning the lowest notes. 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Right? So let's play the melody along with that. That was it. So it goes 3, 4, 5. It goes to sharp 5 to the 6, and then to 2, 2, 5, 1. We spoke about 2, 5, 1 till 2, 5, 1 probably spoil now. 2. Well, it can't really spoil still. 2, 5, 1 is so important in music. So the chords. Left hand, and you can just hear the full song just with the left hand. Right? That's the whole song with just the left hand. So it's a B flat chord to a E flat chord to a F chord, right? But we're using sus. The voicing is a sus voicing. So this first one is a little funny B flat, and the sus2 is at the top, right? And we go to a E flat chord, which is E flat, sus2, E flat, F, B flat. And what the song actually does is, right? So this is a F chord in an open voicing way, meaning it's not like just FAC, but what happens is you have like A and F. I'll make the fifth, we'll put it here. Right, so you have F, here's the A, here's the C, and here's the F again, right? And it moves up like this to a B flat chord, come down to a F chord. So here's the B flat chord, and we don't know it's our B flat D F. So here is the B flat, here's D, here's F at the top. And these notes moving inside in the middle of the chord. When it resolves, it comes right down to a F chord, right? Which is FAC. Here's F, here's A, here's C, here's F. Here's the B flat chord. Here's F, D, B flat, F. Here's now to the F chord, F, C, A, F. So it moves like this. Alright? So the whole thing is, and then, right? Or it is going. If you can do that with one hand, some persons can, some persons can't do it. It's a bit difficult, right? Or some persons will roll it, or so that's a B flat to a F, right? So the melody goes. So you have to ensure that this is just moving with the time, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's a sus chord. Here's F sus at the top, right? I think they put that in there, or they do, right? I think at some point. But they have the C here and they add a C below. And that's a sus chord, right? F sus, they just double the fifth of F, right? So, yeah. And that, sometimes you hear like a pianist would do, a lot of times it's a sus chord. Oops. Sus. So, sus, so. So it's a sus chord, right? Which is a chord, and you change that major third to that second, and you get a sus, right? So where are we? Here we are. B flat to E flat, and then here is resolving to F. Resolving from a B flat going down to F. What was that again? We have to listen back. And then, all right, so we're going to go to a break and we come right back and take this apart.
I like the word new, y'all. Whether it's new year, new job, new shoe, new recipe, new life tips, new hacks, I just like the word new. So of course I was looking forward to the day when I would finally try this new method of that I've been seeing with persons making banana mug cakes, y'all. I was excited. Today, I want to encourage us to find new ways to communicate and to express our love with our spouses and our children. Find new ways of enjoying life, of changing the way we think, changing the way we process, just something new, because having something new brings that excitement, y'all. You look forward to it. 2 Corinthians 5:17 tells us that, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. Today, I encourage us to find new hope in Christ Jesus, because with him comes newness of life.
Healthcare workers are working very hard to ensure lives are saved and people recover quickly from COVID-19. But their work is becoming harder because you're not wearing your mask, washing your hands with soap and water, or using hand sanitizer, and you are not maintaining physical distance. Let's limit the need for hospital beds and ventilators. Do the right thing. Cover your nose and mouth with a mask. Practice good hand hygiene and maintain a physical distance of 6 feet between you and others. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
And we are back. So let's get right back into it. So I want you to look at this B flat chord. Look at this B flat chord, because pretty much the song is just basically here for most of the song. Well, a lot of the song, right? That's where the song is for most of the part, a lot of the song. But look at this B flat chord. So here's B flat in first inversion, and we add the 2 as well. So this is a new chord, right? Still a B flat chord. It's just that we add the second into the chord, right? So this is B flat, add 2, right? Look at the chord. Look at this chord here now. It's a B flat sus 2, and the difference is I'm not playing the B flat full chord, B flat, D, F, and add the 2. I literally remove the 2, and so this is B flat sus 2, right? Right, so here's B flat, D, F, and I add the F below. And this is what the chord is I'm playing. This is the full structure of the chord. Right? It's a big chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. It don't need to be that big, and it sounds just, condensed and nice. So the bass player would probably be playing the 3, right? And go to the B flat, the E flat chord. So let's look at the E flat chord, which is a E flat sus 2. Right, here's the E flat. So normal E flat chord, E flat, G, B flat. But we're going to play, instead of G, we're going to play F here, right? And I use the same chord that I played over the B flat sus. I keep the same structure over the E flat. See that? It stays the same. In other words, it's the D bass going to the E flat over the same chord, right? I can add the G. The G and by adding the G, I mean, show them back again for me, please. F, we'll add the G. Where's F? F, we'll add the G right here. Watch this crush right here. Right? And so without that G, you get an open sound without the quality of the chord. You don't hear if it's minor or major, you just hear an open sound. But if I add the G in there, you hear the G in there? So it give a kind of shape to the chord. Hopefully we can hear it. Without the G, it's just a sus chord. I mean, it's still nice. Right? But if you add the G, it gives gives the chord a shape. And then that same thing we did on F. B flat going to F. So you notice that F is staying the same. We call this a pedal point, where one note remains the same and we move chords inside. Our chords move around on it. So here's B flat, because this F is a part of the B flat chord. So the pedal point is also like a common tone. And a common tone is simply that note that remains the same in different chords. So here's B flat. Here's B flat, and here's F chord. So the F is in that B flat. Sorry, the F is in the F chord and the F is in the B flat chord. So here's the B flat, here's the F, and here's the F chord, here's the F here. So that's why this movement works as well, right? And the F remains the same. So now behold the Lamb. Right? Or you can just go straight to the F chord. Right? So B flat, E flat, F. And if you look at this chord, what am I you see like two notes kind of joined together here. Let's look at what that is. It's a F chord and you add the 2. So you really realize that add 2 or sus 2 is in effect for this song a lot, right? I just don't play back the F right here. I just have it at the top. So right? Or right? So just break that, just get that under your fingers. Right? And you can just play that the 5th at the top. And you're not playing at the same time, you kind of just play one right after each other. But just really fast. So flam like. And if you want to join them, right? So like you just resolve or end the sentence, right? My name is Audale Martin. We end the sentence, right? Music is a language, so we have to think of it like that as well. Let's see the movement that goes to this chord. So this chord is really a D chord, a D major chord. In this key, in B flat, we don't have a full D major chord. We have D major chord as a F sharp. But it doesn't matter. It is just the quality of a 5 going to a 1, right? What's 5 to G? Because it's G we're going to. So, why you it's an inversion of that D chord. Right? It's like a D going to some start of G. Right? It's a D minor chord going to a G minor chord, which is a 5 going to a 1. Right? But it's in an inversion. Right? Now, we haven't spoken about 9s yet, but we have, I believe it's a flat 9 chord on that 3. I'm going to that 6 chord, which is a G minor, which is on what is this? A 9th, 9th, 11. But we're not ready for 9th and 11, right? It's a D dominant. So D major, you add the dominant 7 or the flatted 7th of D. So the chord now is D, F sharp, A, C. Right? So here's an inversion of the same chord. So all I do is remove the D from here, put it at the top. And so we have the bass note actually being. Right? This is not really what the chord is, but I don't want to run ahead of this part here. Sometimes the chord does something like, right? But we'll talk about those stuff when we reach there. But so I really wanted to just really touch on the first part of this song because of the sus movements. And to hear it in a song, we really hear what it's like, as opposed to just talking about them. That D7 to G minor, or we can use G minor 7. We spoke about the G minor 7 chord. Here's G minor 7, right? But I played it like G, F, B flat, and here's a sus chord over that G. So sus chords are really like a so good chord, right? Here's B flat, or really F. Here's F sus. Look at it. Let's break down. This is so interesting right here. Here's a F chord. Here's a F chord. F, A, C. Here's F sus the 4, which means to play not the 3rd, play the 4th. Right? Look at that. B, remember these notes. B flat. Here's the 4th of F. Sorry, F, B flat, C. We're playing this over G. Right? We can use this as a G minor chord. But that's not the point right now. What I'm trying to say is this F sus 4 is the same thing as a B flat sus 2. It's the same notes. When you move it around, here's B flat major, and here's B flat sus 2, right? Which is B flat C F. Here is F major. Here's F sus 4, right? It really literally sounds the same. And it's literally just taking the F, putting it here. Right? I don't know if you see that. That's right. Anybody that get that and realize that part of the word is supposed to open up right now in music, right? So B flat sus 2 is the same as F sus 4, right? B flat sus 2 is the same as F sus 4, right? So, and so you start to have what we call polychords, where chords intertwine. I started to talk about polychords last week, where simple chords intertwine and you get a whole new chord, a brand new chord out of polychords. Brand new chords using polychords, all right? Here's a D7. To G minor 7, G minor 7, which is G, which here is a polychord, here is a G over B flat. Can I see that, please? G over B flat. Naturally, a G bass over B flat give you G minor 7, right? So, well, the melody is at the 6. So I'm playing G minor with F, right? And that's a G minor 7. So G minor with the 7, which is F. But here's that inversion. While the bass player would play, right? Which is to really play a G over a B flat chord, which that combination, G over B flat, give you a G minor 7, right? So a combination of chords give you a new chord. And then to the 2. So the 2. Let's look at that. So the 2 is C minor 7. omit the fifth, which is G, and so we get a different type of sound, right? But it kind of gives away too much of the chord, so we'll omit some notes, right? So that's like F7. Here's an F major chord and a dominant 7, but we'll omit the fifth and the third, and we just have this interval of a 7, minor 7. Here's a major 7, F major 7, F to E flat, flat in the 7. Even though I'm speaking and saying that in context of F, remember that the key that we're in is in B flat, or not the key we're in, let's call it the tonality. The tonality, right? And so this B flat resolves down to the third of F. So C minor 7, omitting the fifth, to the F. Keep that dominant 7 of F. Here is the fourth, going down to the third of F, and then back to 1, which is B flat, B flat, D, F. Sorry, B flat, F, D, F, B flat. That's how we play that. But just like we did on the F that did this kind of thing, we're doing the same thing on E flat, on B flat. So what's a fourth away from B flat? E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's a E flat chord resolving down to B flat. In the same way that the F, the B flat chord resolved down to F when we were on the 5. That movement is the same movement here on E flat. On B flat. Right? So it's going like to an E flat chord to a B flat chord. But here's the voicing, B flat to G, which this is the fifth of E flat. So it's a pedal point again. B flat. Here's a third of E flat. G. Here's the E flat. Here's B flat. And it's resolving down like this to a B flat chord. Nice way to resolve, to bring it home. E flat. Going to B flat. Here's it on F. Here's B flat. Going to F. Here's it on C. What would be the fourth of C? F. So here's F going to C. So you see that common chord, that common tone is normally in the lowest note, right? So if you start it on G, you're going to assume that, all right, so G is here. I'm just talking about ways to remember this chord at different, because you don't want to just know it when you're playing Now Behold the Lamb. You want to know it when you're playing any song and can use it anywhere you want to use it, right? So if I start on G, what's the fourth of G? C. So we know C is going to G. C is a 4 going to G. So let's look at it now. I'm going to find a way to open C. So here's the fifth of C. Here's E, the third. Here's the C. Here's the G. Resolving down. And if you notice, the notes that are resolving down, it's always the notes in the middle. Right. C going to G. All right. Let's go back to the song. So you can always bring back the video and see what that is about. D7 to G minor. And I think in the song there's a little roll. What's that roll? Arpeggio looking kind of thing. So it's the fifth, G, D, A, B flat, right? After you do the let's put it all together. Can I call it sus? That's it. F sus. There's a little melody that you do. And these are the sus chords. Not full major chords like going E flat to going to F. It's sus going to sus, right? Here's a D7, G, right? it sounds more like it. This is a fourth voicing. We're not ready for this as yet. I mean, we could talk about it. C, F, B flat, E flat. I think this is what is in the song. Instead of C, F, B flat, a full C minor 7. It's still acting as a C chord, but it's the voicing. So C minor 7, and they use the fourth here instead of the third, the C minor. The third E flat, they use C, F, B flat. Right? It's a nice sound. And you may ask, why this, why that, why this, why that? Think of it as sounds. What sound better? Let's start with that. What sound like the song? Right? Let's work with that. What sound like the song? I mean, there's a whole theory as to why we should use the 4th, and really at the end of the day is what gives you the sound you're looking for. All right, so that's where I'm going to stop with this song. Let's look at the next song. We'll come back to this song in the next session. But let's look at the next song. It's called A Heart That Forgive.
I want a heart that forgives, a heart full of love.
Could you pause it for me, please? Pause. Could you play it from the beginning again? All right. So we're in G. We're in G. And why I asked to play this song again is, so I heard the progression, but it's not the progression is not the problem now. It is the feel. The feel is different. It's you know, it evokes a certain emotion. It may evoke something different for me than for you, but nevertheless, whatever you feel, it should sound like what that was, right? And there were some strings underneath it. Can you play it one more time? Okay. Let's play it one more time. And so forth, so forth. But this is an interesting chord. Look at this chord. F sharp, G, D. Look at this chord. Funny chord, right? Again, we don't want to think of these things as anything complex because we're not really breaking down to learn all the theory and everything right now. It's just a matter of seeing the process of breaking down a song. So really, the simple chords are, G going to D, and then let's look at that G major scale to see of what is happening. G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, right? So anytime we have a F in context of a G major scale, we don't play F natural, we play F sharp. But in the song, it actually goes to a F natural chord. It goes here, right? And into a C, and into D, right? That's the progression of the song. So it's going G to D in root position, G to D to F to C. But of course, it don't sound like that kind of sound. We're using inversions, and so inversions are so important. Listen to this right here. If I'm playing, and I go to the D chord, and I go this right here, and it sounds like a whole different song because I'm not using the inversions. But if I'm using the inversions, da-dam, da-dam, right, it's no sound like the song because I'm using the inversions. Right? So let's look at it. So as I was saying at the beginning of the session, melodies, songs, and the major scale, just get used to that major scale, know your major scale inside out. There are some let's not talk about that right now, but it's important to know your major scales because a lot of the songs that we like, it's derived from the major scale. So here's a sus right here at the beginning. Here it is. Here's a G major chord. Here's a sus2. You know, those sus2 really give a nice sound, or the sus4, but that's sus2. So here's the melody, the piano melody at least. So there's a G major chord and going. So the melody D, G, A, D, so. So it's really a D chord. The funny thing about this D chord, it can be used as it can be looked at as a G major 7 chord, but we won't talk about that right now. And so we get that little funny sound in the chord. Right? That's really a G major 7. But it still acts as a D and a G major 7. So D acts as a G and the G major 7 chord acts as a D. But we're not ready to do all of that stuff yet. So let's just use a D chord. Over the same melody. So we're just playing parts of that chord. Or we can play the chord like this, left hand. Right? To the D chord in its first inversion. Then a F sus. Right? F sus 2 instead of a F major 7. F sus 2. We know that this chord should not be here in context of what a G major scale has in it, which is F sharp, and into C chord. And the reason why this is so good is because it really shows us that it's not a matter of, all right, so I'm in the key of G, don't mean that we stick to everything that's only in the G major scale. It just means I'm in the key of G, mean the tonality, or where one is sounding like Mi, Re, Do, where it sounds like Do is G, and it's all in context of a G major scale, but it don't mean that we won't have chords outside of G major scale, right? So when I'm thinking about music, I don't think and say I'm in this key. Singer asks, which key are you in, musician, Keezy? I'm in the key of C. But I don't feel like I'm in the key of C. The tonality is C, but I can go anywhere I want, right? And so this song shows us. This is F. This is a whole F going on right here. And then C, which is a 4 of G. Why this 4 sound like this? It's not just, so look at that voicing in my left hand, which where, so the 4 is a C chord, which is C, E, G, but look at this voicing. C, can I get a view of that, please? C, I have the E up here. Some persons may not be able to stretch this far. So I roll the chord, so it's C, G, E. So I roll the chord. Right? So, well, there's a movement in there, moving from C, G, D, E. I'm going to take some little, multitasking between the hands. The same procedure on the C goes to the D. You know what I would do? Isolate that movement and look at this fingering. You can do it like this, which is the traditional proper way to play that movement. But I would do C, G, and just move the thumb up. And one reason I like to break down songs, even if I'm not going to play it for anybody, it gives me different ideas of voicings for the same chord. Or interesting ways to play the same thing, right? And it give it a different color. So I would just take that movement. So do it on C. What would it look like on a C sharp? Can you give me a view, please? So C, going to C sharp, and if you're going to take it in context of just the chord itself, look at it in context of C then, in context of C major scale. So it's C, G, D, E, right? So it's the first, the fifth, the second, and third of a chord. Move it up to C sharp if you know your C sharp major scale or D flat major scale. Right? Move it to D, to E flat, to E, to F. So notice that that chord is going, or this movement is moving over the octave. Sorry, D, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, sorry, B flat, the fifth, the second, the third, B flat, the fifth, the second, the third, C, B, the fifth, the second, the third of the scale, right, of course, and then it's back to C. So you just isolate that and just learn it, what it is, for what it is, and then you can put it back in the song. So, right. And I promise you, when you isolate it and playing the right hand melody over it, which is still in the intro, right, you start to hear both hands coming together. And so it's not like, boy, I'm a left hand independent, and which is so left hand independent, right hand independent, left hand fingers independent, right hand fingers independent. But you're not hearing them as left hand and right hand. You're hearing it as one collective sound, and so you apply it that way. Right? As opposed to, all right, left hand doing that and the right hand. No, just hear it as, you hear it as one collective sound. You don't hear it as, and you break it. No, you don't hear that. Can you just play it in right where the singer actually starts singing, so we hear what it's like?
I want a heart that forgives, a heart full of love.
Going down.
One with compassion, just like yours above. One that overcomes evil, with goodness and love. Like it never
It comes up back, up again, and then.
grudge.
All right, can pause it right here. So two ways to look at it. We can hear the progression moving. We hear the progression moving. 1 down to the 7, right? And it's going right down the scale, right down that scale, right down the scale, right down the G major scale. It's going right down the scale, right, until you reach to the 2. So, right, I'll explain these voicings. All right, so let's talk about those movements. So it's literally going down the major scale, and so it's just important to just know your major scale, right? But so the chords right now, so it's G, and while we're going down to F sharp, the bass is F sharp, but the chord is not a F sharp chord, right? The chord is a D major chord. So here it is, inversions again. G. Can I get a view? Thank you. G. So here's this, and I'm listening also to the melody that's going down on the chords, right? So in this simple way to play the chord, it's G, D, B, right? And then we move down to a D major chord, F sharp, D, A, right? And then to an E minor chord, which is the 6th of E, of G, right? E, B, G, and then to a D major chord, D is F sharp, and to a C major chord, C, G, E, and then this chord is not a B minor chord, but a G major chord, right? You're about a G major chord, B, G, D. So here's it now. And then here's a 2 chord, which is an A minor chord, which is, right? But here's the inversion, right? A fuller sound, coming back up the scale. And then this chord right here is a little funny chord, right? We don't go back to the, so, look at this chord. Let me spell it out and we'll talk about it. C sharp, G, B, E. Let's put that in a different inversion. C sharp, E, G, B. This is a half diminished chord, or a minor 7 flat 5 chord, right? Which is C sharp, minor 7 flat 5, right? This chord, we'll find this is a 7th chord, and we'll find it in the key of D. In the key of D, we'll find this chord naturally in the key of D. Let's look at it. Here's D major 7. If we're practicing our 7th chords like we normally would practice at the beginning of class. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7. See that? That same chord. Right? So it's just inverted differently, right? But here's the same chord, it's the same exact chord, same notes. So here's B, G, E, C sharp. But we're going to put the B here. E remains here. The G comes here. And the C sharp comes here. Right? And the D chord. And it wants to sound like this D chord have a sus2 in it. So it's D, add 2. Right? So it's D major, add 2. We've been talking about sus chords, right? So the whole thing is, I can add the bass. Or I can add the full G chords like this. G chord. Right? G chord. So they sound exactly like what's there. This will be more like it. Right down the scale. But this chord here is a G chord going up to A minor, down to A minor, back to G. Then that minor 7 flat 5. Right? So from the top it's and it's really much fuller, like it's played bigger really. It's played bigger. But this is the simple structure of the chord. G to A minor, back up to G, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then D, add 2, right? Which is to add the 2 of D, which is not to add the 2 of G, because you're in the key of G. It's to add the 2 of D. So you're taking it by the chord structure, right? And you're talking about the second note away from D. So you're thinking intervals in context of D, but you're in the key of G, right? So can you continue?
That forgives, a heart full of love, one with compassion just like yours above, one that overcomes evil with goodness and love, like it never happened, never holding a grudge, want a heart that forgives,
Continue.
lives and lets live, one that keeps loving over and over again, one that men can't offend because your word is within, one that loves without price like you, Lord Jesus Christ, one a heart that loves every.
All right. So the second time around, when we did the movements down scale, it didn't go to E minor again, it went to F this time. And you'll find about that F chord. So even though we're in the key of G, here's a full, and we know in the key of G we have a F sharp, but here's a F major chord. Right. I think I'm singing the wrong melody. that sus was there in it, which is like D sus 4 to the third. But there's an inversion of the chord. It sounds like a B chord. All right, so that chord there, and then the F chord, and then to the F and to a C chord in its inversion, right? And you can add that C sus 2. By now we know what the sus 2 chord is, right? Not C add 2, C sus, right? And add is when we have the C major chord and we add the second, but the sus is just removing the third, just have the sus 2, and then to a normal C chord, right? So it's a slow process. I mean, talking about it, but when I'm listening to the songs, or probably when other musicians are breaking down the songs, they're hearing these, voicings, and I'm just playing them back, right? And sometimes they play the chord at the top, so I go. And they're playing the chord here, and they play the chord at the top, right? And so these are pretty much some of the things that this is how we break down songs, really. And I'm just using these songs. The reason why I use these songs, because these songs are pretty much using the information that we have been gathering over the last 3, 4, 5, how many weeks, and putting them in the songs. Adding all the colors in a very musical way, and so we have these nice songs. And the more we practice the exercises, and as we learn something new, we practice them in different positions or at different places in different keys, we start to hear them real quick, and so as we hear them, we just play them. Here's a sus. That sus is so nice. Can resolve it. And we know what that is. We know what this movement is, right? We spoke about that pedal point and the common tones. So we may not know which chords these are right now, but we know what this movement is. And it's G resolving to D, right? We spoke about this voicing and the inside movements. It gives the sense of like home, even though we're not at home, which is G. But it gives the ending of that kind of phrase, like, and then back home, right? Right, so just watch about the video real slowly. Just repeat it. I'm sure everything is explained in a very simple and clear manner. And so we should be able to just go back over this video and understand some of the the things that we do or learn in breaking down songs. I'll try next week to go back through Now Behold the Lamb, right? Now Behold the Lamb, and finish this song as well. All right, so we're at the end of the session. Please don't forget to like and share and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends and all of that good stuff. So let's just go outside with this song.
Join us tomorrow evening for Oh Give Thanks with Pastor Michael Lewis and the dynamic team. We look forward to seeing you at 7:30 p.m. sharp. A blessing awaits you.